Hello, this is Dr. Maria Malater, and this is a micro course on management versus leadership. Are they the same thing or are they not? And are you a leader or a manager? Those are the questions to consider as we move through this course. So let's go ahead and get started. First, let's talk about management. Management is the art of execution. The core function is maintaining systems and processes. Managers' primary focus is efficiency, stability, and predictability. When we think about management skills, the key responsibilities for the manager are planning, organizing, controlling, monitoring performance, solving immediate problems, and implementing existing strategies. Management is considered the art of execution. Now let's take a look at leadership. Leadership is the art of influence and vision. Core function is creating direction and inspiring change. A leader's primary focus then is innovation, transformation, and potential. When we look at the key responsibilities for leaders, we find they are creating vision, inspiring and motivating, driving strategic thinking, challenging the status quo, developing people, and navigating uncertainty. Are you a manager or are you a leader or are you integrated? So when we look again, management versus leadership, you could see the approach for management is tactical and for leadership, it's strategic. When we're thinking about the time horizon, managers are thinking short to medium, where leaders are thinking long term. When managers are making decisions, they are usually structured. When leaders are making decisions, they are usually adaptive. When we think about risk tolerance, managers are more conservative and leaders are calculated, risk-taking individuals. When we compare managers versus leaders in their communication, a manager is more directive and a leader is more inspirational. So the primary goal for managers is maintaining order, and the primary goal for leaders is driving change. When we think about management skills, we'll think of these as the top skills: analytical thinking, detail orientation, process optimization, resource allocation, budgeting, operational planning, and compliance management. When we think about leadership skills, we think about emotional intelligence, strategic vision, change management, adaptive communication, conflict resolution, talent development, and innovative thinking. So let's look at a scenario. Say your company is experiencing a 20% decline in employee engagement and productivity. Thinking about what you learned about managers and management, how would you respond as a manager? Where would your focus areas be? Then, if you think about responding from a leadership perspective, what would you be paying attention to if the company is experiencing a 20% decline in employee engagement and productivity? Well, here are some ideas for that scenario in both management and leadership. From the management perspective, the manager who's in a company that's experiencing a 20% decline in employee engagement and productivity, they would analyze current processes. They would then identify efficiency gaps, or they would implement performance improvement metrics, and also create standardized training programs to help change this situation. From a leader's perspective, they would look to understand the root causes of disengagement. They would develop a compelling vision for organizational transformation. They would work on the organizational culture of trust and potential. And they would then invest in individual team member growth. So those are two different ways to look at solving the problem of a company with a 20% decline in employee engagement and productivity. Did you take the management perspective or did you take the leadership perspective? So let's think about a few things. Let's reflect. In your current role, do you lean more toward management or leadership? What skills can you develop to become more balanced? How can you create more synergy between management and leadership in your organization? So while you're thinking about management or leadership, think about where the strengths lie in each individual in your organization and in yourself. Some members of the team may be great at creating compelling visions, whereas another person's strength is analyzing the processes and systems. So sometimes what's challenging is when people get promoted and they have not had management or leadership training or coaching, and they're not quite sure what to do and how to differentiate between the two and to get the job done. You need both management and leadership skills to make effective and strategic changes. So in the end, leadership and management are not opposing forces, but they are complementary skills. The most effective professionals learn to master both by adapting their approach to meet the complex demands of modern organizations. So it's very important to kind of reflect on where you fall. Are you more a manager, or are you more a leader, or are you both? And then look at your teams and determine where their skill sets and strengths are to determine and understand what perspective they're looking at scenarios in the organization. Are they looking at it from a management perspective or a leadership perspective? So, well, thank you so much for coming through this course on management versus leadership. So I'm Dr. Maria Malater, and I wish you always the best in your leadership endeavors. And if you need anything, please reach out.